I'm from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. But be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday, guys. Every Monday we are live right here on YouTube, hanging out with you, talking Royal Caribbean cruises. So thank you for being a part of the fun. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, it's another Monday, another week, and we are here. And if you really think about how much has changed this last Monday, my goodness, it is crazy. But we're here to answer your Royal Caribbean cruise questions, talk about what's happening in the world of cruising, and otherwise kind of hang out together. We got some people joining our chat already. Noah, hello. Noah, you're our first chatter in. Sarah Baker is here. Hello, Sarah. Jonathan Harmon is here. We've got Mark. We got Pooji in the house. Michael First, you were here early today. I'm a wild and crazy guy. I mean, it's 7:30 my time. It's in the spectrum of possibilities. JJ Cruz, Cheryl Osborne, hello. Terry Gallant, welcome. Earl Zybarth is here as well. Hello, Earl. Mark Hunter, Larry, Debbie, Amiga, Susie Junko is here. We've got Tanya Rosenberger, Ken Lesko. Welcome, one and all. Glad to have you joining us here on this Monday. Frank's Matt with the party lights in the background. Yeah, it's my smart table thingy that does that. Don't read too much into it. It's far from a party in here. Good evening, Lloyd and Gopher Dog. We'll have the name. Our first question today is from Michael, who wants to know, do you think that not using the Venice port will be an issue using a shuttle for 2.5 hours? I don't think it'll be an issue. Certainly, I think most people would have preferred to sail out of Venice, but I think in the grand scheme of things, it'll be fine. It'll be what it'll be, you know? But I don't think it'll be a problem. I think it's just going to be an inconvenience. Kim Oakland is here. What's up, Kim? Hope you're doing well. Happy Monday to you. Ross Goldberg, hello. Bill Coco, glad to be back. Bill, I am glad you are here. Amy Lionheart from Danbury, Connecticut. Amy, I was just looking at houses to rent for about a week in the summertime, and I've come to the conclusion that there are some towns really far north of Danbury. They're like Washington, New Milford, obviously, that's the one I've always known about, but there are some like towns that are really in the middle of nowhere. But glad you are here. Welcome. Maximilian, what is my next cruise? Well, Max, assuming, and it's not much of an assumption, that Royal Caribbean will indeed cancel its cruises through September 15th, my next Royal Caribbean cruise, I think, is Odyssey of the Seas, November 4th. November 9th, whatever that four-nighter is, that's what I've got. Matthew Eccles with our first super chat of the evening. Thank you, Matthew, for your super chat from one Matt to another. Thank you. Mark Hunter, hello and welcome. Liz Hikes, hello. Michael First, what level am I with Crown Anchor? Diamond Plus. Diamond Plus. Nicholas, do you think any cruise will start in August or delay again? No, Nicholas, actually, zero chance of that happening in August. At least not the major cruise lines. I say the major ones, but here in the U.S., the answer is no. You saw the news probably on Friday, but I say that, and I think Bahamas Paradise Cruise Line is still scheduled to sail in July, which, is an interesting situation right there. And of course, there may be cruises that'll sail out of China in July, perhaps Europe, we don't know. But for North America, it's all but a done deal, guys. No Royal Caribbean cruises until September at the earliest. So, Charlie Fannin, have you ever been on a Thanksgiving cruise? We'll be on one on the Oasis. Yes, I have done Thanksgiving a number of times on Harmony of the Seas, on Brilliance of the Seas. It is a fantastic way to vacation. I love going on cruise ships for Thanksgiving. It's a great holiday to do that. It's low key, but you still have the traditional Thanksgiving meal that is over there. You've got your, you can still go to the main dining room, get your turkey, get your mashed potatoes, but you don't have to cook. You don't have to, you don't have to worry about any of those kinds of things. It's so much easier. And for a lot of us, we have that built-in time off. And on top of all that, it's usually pretty inexpensive. Shane from Australia, good day, mate. Do we know when the complete 2022 sailings will come out? We do not, my friend. We do not. Don Goldstein is here. Hello, Commander. Welcome. Andrew for Bahamas Paradise is the only one on the CDC's list with a green rating. Yeah, and also Bahamas Paradise is not part of CLIA. I just learned that today, actually. So maybe that's part of the reason or the rationale why. Ken Lesko, special shout out to Michelle Cunningham at MEI Travel. She does a great job. All the agents at MEI Travel do, and thank you for supporting our sponsor. Really appreciate that. Whoa! We've got a super chat here from Bill Coco. Only if you tell me about the Teddy Ruxpin you got there. Okay. It's Teddy Ruxpin. I bought it on eBay. I always wanted a Teddy Ruxpin when I was a kid, and then when I had my first daughter, while my wife was still pregnant, I bought Teddy Ruxpin on eBay so I could fulfill a childhood dream of mine for my child who had no such dream. And it barely works, but it works, and it's just kind of a neat thing. And at first I was like, I gave it to my kids to play with, and I was like, wait a minute, whoa, this is a museum piece. You can't be playing with this. So I put it up there. Ahmed, any chance of Royal Caribbean to be selling in Europe at any time by August or September? I think we're going to get the answer to that one, Ahmed, this week. Is there a chance? Sure. So far, Ahmed, here's what I will say. Norwegian and Carnival both said they're canceling cruises in August, September for North American sailings. They did not mention Europe. So that's a good sign if that's what you're looking for right there. Chantel wants to know, are the buffets a thing of the past due to COVID? They will be, at least temporarily, Chantel. It remains to be seen in what manner. Like, will the buffet turn into just full service? Like, same thing, but instead of you picking the food, someone serves you the food. Will it be something completely different than that? We simply don't know. Royal Caribbean has not said what that will look like yet. But I think even if they radically change it for COVID-19, I think once cruising gets back, I think once COVID-19 is way in our rearview mirror and we're not really thinking about it in the same way that we really don't think about, SARS or Zika virus anymore, I think the buffet will come back. So, Dylan, why isn't BP under CLIA, the Bahamas Paradise cruise line? I don't know. I mean, I've never been on them, so it's hard for me. I hate to pass judgments, but they kind of are like, they're very much a different kind of operation. That's the nicest thing I can say about them. Very much a different kind of organization. Deborah wants to know, do you think there will be cruising this year? We're supposed to go on October 11th out of Puerto Rico. Deborah, if you had asked me in March, I would have been like, oh yeah, for sure. Now, who knows? I mean, listen, I think there will be cruising. I think it may not be here, or I don't know when it'll be here, but yeah, it's so hard to predict. This is the problem. And I know so many of you, just like Deborah, want to know, will this cruise happen? What about that cruise? What are the chances of this one? And truly, we don't know. We just don't know. Bill, with another super chat. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate your generosity, sir. Me and my two sons are scheduled for Freedom of the Seas, June 5th, 2021. Are you thinking that we're going to be good by then? From the inside sources. Well, I have no inside sources. So you may as well, Bill, get a dartboard and put yes, no all along the board and start throwing darts with your eyes closed, and whatever hits probably has as much of a likelihood of predicting it correctly than I do. Axel is here. What's up, Axel? How does the Pullmantur bankruptcy affect Royal Caribbean retiring ships like Grandeur? We don't know yet, Axel. I mean, the answer is we don't know. Is there potential affection of that? Yes, absolutely. Perhaps that won't occur. It's too early to know. And by the way, we should also point out there is a reorg. Just because there are many forms of bankruptcy, and what Pullmantur, if you didn't read the news, don't forget, guys. Pullmantur is a cruise line, a Spanish cruise line that Royal Caribbean has a 49% stake in. Okay, Pullmantur filed today for reorganization under Spain's rules or what have you. Now, this is technically a form of bankruptcy, but it's not every bankruptcy is Chapter 11. Reorgs happen. I mean, listen, the airlines have made bankruptcy an art form, because whenever they've got like, hey, we owe more than $20, bankruptcy, and they come back, American Airlines does it like every other week. So it's not the end-all be-all of what it could be. But to Axel, to your point, yes, there is a potential something could change there. But honestly, Axel, in this day and age of COVID-19, there are no guarantees. Who knows, right? Tony Diaz, instead of throwing darts, ask the Magic 8 Ball. Yeah, I almost feel bad like with the Magic 8 Ball, because when I give you an answer, even if it's crystal clear that it is a joke, I feel like I'm still giving people false hope. Nathan, will Pullmantur's Royal Caribbean ships return to the fleet? I don't know. I highly doubt it. I think if anything, guys, ships are on their way out, not on their way back in. I just don't see that happening and it's purely from a cost standpoint. That'd be the reason. John DiMuccio, welcome. Brogan, does CLIA's statement apply to Europe? No. It appears, at least thus far, Brogan, that CLIA's statement really applies to U.S. sailings, North American sailings. It's really about cruises out of the United States. Now, I have not seen info from Carnival or Norwegian who have specifically called out Europe and their fate, but I believe those two cruise lines have only canceled cruises for North America currently. So, Andrew, Chapter 11 is more like a reorg. Chapter 7 is closing up shop. There you go. And yeah, I don't know these things, but I do know that a reorg is not the end. It's not the end all be all. So, but thank you, Andrew. Jason, I wish Roken would tell us something based on the news Friday. We're supposed to be on Harmony September 20th. The word on the street, Jason, the rumor mill says that there will be an announcement tomorrow. I don't know if that's true or not. I believe the source of that rumor is a now deleted tweet from Royal Caribbean to some random guest saying an announcement will come on tomorrow. They have said on the record there will be an announcement early this week. Wasn't today, obviously, so that pretty much leaves tomorrow or maybe Wednesday. Holy moly, Kim Oakland with an epic super chat. Woo! Kim, my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Kim writes, made my reservation for the Norway cruise next year. Thanks for putting up with my whining about cruise cancellations. Kim, always a pleasure, and I can't wait for that one. That is the Royal Caribbean Blog Group Cruise, Anthem of the Seas, out of Southampton. My first time in Europe, Norway. Kim will be there. It likely won't be sweaty. I'm excited for it, and Kim, I'm so looking forward to going on that cruise. I've never been so excited to spend like 12 hours on an airplane, you know? So, Mel21. Matt, sadly, my cruise on August 21 was canceled, and when will I get a refund? Last I heard, it's about 45 days, but it really does vary. Linda, people are really getting frustrated with the delays. I totally get that. Listen, I'm frustrated with it too. I mean, listen, nobody wants it, but these are extraordinary times. That's the thing you got to always remind yourself of it. And it's not that, there isn't a will to make it better or have less delays, but yeah, it's unparalleled what's happening right now. Soggy Frostflakes, what is your favorite ship out of Galveston? And can you lift the ship to a different port? Generally you can't, from what I understand. The alert situation notwithstanding, that's kind of an exception there. Lifted ship requires, of course you could do a Western Caribbean. So I think the answer is yes, you could. I take that back, actually. In terms of what my favorite ship out of Galveston, there's not many choices. So, I mean, Liberty would probably be what I would pick, but I haven't even been on Liberty yet. So. Katie, the announcement will be the 23rd. I found that after a 2-hour hold with Rel on Friday. Long story, but just a heads up. So the 23rd is what, tomorrow? Yeah. That's what the rumor mill is saying. And Katie, I appreciate you sharing that information. I'd be the first to point out, by the way, that rumors from what people hear from the call center isn't always necessarily the gospel truth. But let's be honest, it's probably going to be. I think it's probably more likely to be, because again, Rel said early next week. That's pretty much tomorrow if it wasn't today. Sharon Stockman with a giant epic super chat. Woo! Sharon, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. Still hoping for Explorer still sails over Christmas. Sharon, I really hope you get to go on that sailing, and thank you for your generosity. My goodness, between you and Kim, you guys, I am so grateful for the amazing generosity this community has shown me in this day and age. Not in the day and age, I mean, we've been in the middle of this, guys, for months now, right? And Sharon and Kim and Bill and Matt Eccles and so many of you guys have been so generous. And again, I don't do this for like, hey, where's the tip jar? Can I get that's not what I'm doing this for. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm doing it for me also because I enjoy it. It's fun talking Royal Caribbean. I love hanging out with you guys, even Tony Diaz. So it's great seeing you guys in here. I appreciate it. And to have that level, the extraordinary generosity that so many of you guys have shown, it's not only icing on the cake, it is what makes it worth doing in so many regards. So I really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. Keisha, I purchased the beverage package. Price dropped, called, got a lower rate. Any idea how long to get the difference refunded? Usually, Keisha, it takes about, for cruise planner purchases, usually about 3 to 5 business days, give or take. These days, who knows? But that's the cruise purchase stuff is actually rolls a whole lot faster. Now, Keisha, one other thing you should be aware of, you can do this a lot faster by doing this on the website. Go on to Royal Caribbean's website, logging into the cruise planner, you can cancel and rebook very easily, no penalty on the website, and there's no hold time. So just a heads up for future reference. Nothing wrong with calling in, but a little faster in my opinion. Matt Rurick in the house, welcome. Katie Brewer, do you need a passport to cruise? It depends on which country you live in and where you're sailing from. If you're a U.S. citizen and your cruise leaves from the United States and ends in the United States, it's a closed loop, so, leaves from Fort Lauderdale, comes back to Fort Lauderdale, you can cruise without a passport. You can cruise with a birth certificate and state-issued ID. I don't recommend it. I think you're much better off getting a passport, but you can cruise as a U.S. citizen in the U.S. I've cruised that departs and leaves from the U.S. You can cruise without one. Randy Patrick with a super chat. Thank you, Randy. On a flight, but I made it, baby. 5:15 to the Harmony Group Cruise. So, Randy, how was it flying, man, in this world right now? Dylan the Cruiser, is it known what ship will do Miami 3 and 4 night sailing since Navigator is leaving? Voyager, maybe? What was it? You're talking about, Dylan, you're talking about 21, right? It was Independence? Am I making that up? I'd have to look it up, my friend. I think the answer is we do know. I do remember this. You're talking about like 2021, 2022, right? Nathan, is the Ultimate Dining Package worth on the Oasis class bundle with the Royal Replenish package? I think so. I think it's a lot of food, dude. Don't get me wrong. But the dining packages will absolutely save you money. It's more of a question of, do you want to eat that much food? Because it's a lot of food. So, Brogan, if I book a cruise solo, can I add a second person later? Yes, but it can definitely change the price. So keep that in mind. I wouldn't recommend it. What you want to do instead, Brogan, is book the cruise, even though you're solo, put a name down, whether it's that person's name or anybody's name, doesn't matter. Swapping names does not incur a fee, does not incur a cost. Adding someone does. So I would do, Brogan, if there's a chance someone might want to join you later on, definitely make up a second person. That's the way to go. Gigi, still not understanding lift and shift. Okay, Gigi, so let me be more specific then in answering your question. What aspect are you not understanding of it? Basically, what lift and shift allows you to do is take a sailing you have booked and get price protection for it. Same type of room, same price, same booking benefits for another cruise of the same itinerary, similar dates within plus or minus 4 weeks of the original sail date, and obviously same stateroom, a year from there. But yeah, Gigi, let me know which part of it isn't making sense, I guess. Shane, do you know why Australia is getting 2 Quantum class ships and not different classes? That's a good question. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that there's newer hardware and those ships are in the area, as opposed to in years in the past when you had other ships there. So I think it's just a matter of what's in the region, whether it's Asia or Australia or coming from North America, the Alaska cruise season. I think that has a big part to do with it. They're not going to move a ship from, Europe over there for the cruise season. Really, you either get ships that are coming from Asia or coming from North America. So whatever's in those markets will be what you see over in Australia, sorry. Randy Patrick with another super chat. Thank you, Randy. Masks on Southwest and everyone out in public in Tampa since Friday. St. Pete wasn't as restricted, but implied you wear a mask. Yeah, we're thinking of flying for going up to Connecticut for in and around July 4th. And about a couple of weeks ago, I never would have flown on an airplane at all. But now, I don't know. I feel like, you flew, right? It's just got to get used to it at some point. Margaret, do you think Royal Caribbean will have any ship sailing out of Los Angeles, San Francisco in 21 or 22? Margaret, I think 0% chance San Francisco, but Royal before this whole COVID stuff, there was a very, 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 very strong rumor that Royal Caribbean was going to position a ship out of LA. That may have changed. I don't know. But we haven't really heard a whole lot about that since then. And again, perhaps COVID played a part in that, but we don't know. There was a very strong rumor that Quantum of the Seas was going to come down to Los Angeles. It was even on the schedule at one point, but that was never announced formally. All right, so Gigi says, will it be price protected if I book during Kids Sail Free and the 4 weeks later I book where Kids Sail Free doesn't apply? Yes, it will, Gigi. If they protect your promo, it does not matter. It doesn't matter, Gigi, if your kids are in the new cruise a year later, are too old for Kids Sail Free. Doesn't matter. Yes, they will protect it right there. Michael, is Kraken rum sold everywhere? On a ship or on land? On a cruise ship, it's available in most bars. Nearly all the bars have it, if that's what you're asking. Michael is here. What's up, Michael? I haven't talked to you in a while. You know why? Because there haven't been Royal app updates, my friend. Who can access the Viking Crown Lounge on Freedom of the Seas? Everybody. Michael, when the Diamond Lounge spills over into the Viking Crown Lounge, they only take over really the bar area. Like if you're facing the bar, the Viking Crown Lounge, as you walk in, the right side of it, where the bar is, and to the right. Anyway, there's more seating and you can get in there. Occasionally, I have seen the whole area, but even so, there's extra seating towards the front or the back, however you want to look at it. And there's also the card rooms on the side. But most times, you're good to go. Jonesy, what's going on, man? Welcome, Jonesy. Sarah Baker, do you think the CDC is delaying cruising as a way to blame the cruise industry for bringing COVID-19 to the U.S.? I don't know. I don't know that I agree with that, Sarah. I think, honestly, my perception has just been it's government, the typical government inefficiency in that. Now, is there maybe an agenda going on? I don't know. I mean, on the one hand, and this is not getting into a political conversation here, but it's no secret that President Trump and Mickey Aronson, who's the owner of Carnival, are pretty close. I don't know if they're friends, but they're pretty close, and he seems to always be very supportive of the cruise lines, Trump that is, during things. So I don't know, but the CDC is an independent agency. How they run it, why they run it, I have no idea. So, Neum, with lift and shift, I think that's what it's called, that's correct. With lift and shift, if the cruise the week before is cheaper, can you book the cruise and then shift your cruise to the week after? Sure, why not? So, Neum, what you're asking is, if I'm understanding you right, you have a cruise booked, you want to lift and shift, but you want to lift and shift it to 1 week, but then book the cruise in addition the week before to do it back-to-back? Is that what you're asking, or am I totally misunderstanding your question? Katie Brewer, what is my favorite drink to have while cruising? If I'm not watching my girlish figure, it would be a Lava Flow, Kraken rum. If I'm just getting any drink, Kraken rum and Diet Coke. Love that stuff. John Lawley, do you think the voluntary suspension is a way of coaxing the CDC to not extend the ban? I think, John, based on the wording from CLIA, and we don't know this, so I'm just guessing, my friend. My guess is that there is a little bit of a gamesmanship going on here, right? CLIA definitely worded it in a way that makes it sound like, hey guys, we're going to be the big people. We're going to be the bigger person here. And we're going to we're going to give more time to the CDC because they're a little slow. And we're going to give them plenty of time. It won't be on us. You guys do you. We'll be waiting when you're ready. Right? That was my read of it. KB in the UK. Crikey. No, that's Australian. Cheerio. Splendid. Thank you for the super chat. KB, hey Matt, if October 3rd Symphony is canceled, do I get another 125%? Now, KB, the answer to your question is, I'm not sure. I guess the answer to your question depends on what your question is. In the original cruise, your Symphony cruise, did you use onboard or did you use future cruise credit for that one? If you use future cruise credit from another canceled cruise, you get the original future cruise credit back, just reissued to you. Plus, on top of that, another future cruise credit for any remainder value that you paid in cash. That would be 125. You don't get like 150% essentially, if that's what you're asking. And holy moly, guys, we have a celebrity in the house. It is Sherry, Cruise Tips TV with a super chat. Oh, my goodness. I'm going to frame the screenshot the day Sherry came in. Wow, that's very generous of you. Thank you, Miss Griffiths. Because you introduced me to Kraken, and Kraken is life. Yes! Now you know why I have empty bottles of it behind me. Yes! What is going on, guys? If you don't watch Sherry's videos, Cruise Tips TV, on YouTube here, you're missing out. It's better than cable. And when October comes around, Vlogtober, heck yeah! That cancel cable in October, because there's no point in watching it, because you're gonna be watching every day a new video from her. But thank you, Sherry. Very, very kind of you. Mike Jameson, I'll have to get my wife one of those lava flow drinks, assuming our cruise in April 2021 on Independence actually sails. It's a great drink, man. It is. It's not for the. It's not for Weight Watchers, but it is a great, man. It's so tasty. It's so good. Lauren Bloomberg, I love your videos. Quick question: we have a December cruise on Majesty. Based on what Carnival just announced with the selling of 6 ships, what are the odds of this ship being sold? Boy, that's a great question, man. The answer is nobody knows. I mean, there is no way to know. Is it a possibility? Sure, anything's possible, but there's no data or information or conjecture or any kind of wording that would indicate that we should expect it. But obviously, you never know. So it's, yeah, there's just no way to really know for certain. I hate to give you that answer, but it's really the truth. Tony Diaz with a super chat. Woo! Big super chat. Tony says, buy Sherry Reclusive TV a shot. All right, Sherry. We're doing some shots here. You gotta put the kids to sleep here. I don't know, maybe your kids don't care. Your kids are older than mine. It's not the first time my kids would have seen me taking shots anyway, but yes. Shelly, Matt and Sherry in one vlog just made my night. Listen, I'm just here. I'm just a mere nobody who talks Royal Caribbean. Sherry is like the YouTube cruise person. Like, she is just, she is what we all strive to be, right? When we do videos, say, what would Sherry do? Sherry would go to TJ Maxx and then buy luggage she didn't need, but was a good price because she found it. Then she would drive in the middle of the desert, because she lives in the middle of nowhere. It'd take her like 2 hours to get there. And then she would go home and she would make herself a drink. And then she would talk to Mr. Cruise Tips TV. Oh, and they would book another cruise that's like an amazing itinerary to places no one's ever been before. And it would just be another week in Sherry's life. That's how she rolls. And the rest of us are like, hey, I think Wendy's has Nuggets out right now. Love Sherry. She does such a great job. John DiMuccio, what's the difference between Zoom Surf and Stream and the Zoom Surf internet package? Zoom Surf and Stream is faster. Basically, there's 2 tiers to Royal Caribbean's internet, and the Zoom Surf is throttled down. It is slower. Surf and Stream is faster. No matter what, just get Surf and Stream, John. It's a much better experience overall. My packing skills are better because of Sherry. Kathy, I'm a terrible packer, but listen, I picked up at least a couple tips from her. She is the guru. When I went to Alaska the first time, do you know who I reached out to? Sherry. No one else. I was like, you need to tell me everything about Alaska, what to pack. There's a podcast episode where we did that. Like, that's proof is in the pudding right there. I did the podcast, for the audience, but it was for me. It was for me. I was selfish. I needed her info. Jeffrey Leonard with a giant super chat. Woo! Thank you, Jeffrey. Hello, Matt. A little late, I think, but I'm here now. Jeff, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your generosity, sir. Very, very kind of you. Glad to see you here. Maria, what should with Europe cruise on October with Royal Caribbean? It's my honeymoon. I think you're asking, like, what's going on with it? We really don't know. Tomorrow, we'll probably get an update on what sailings may or may not be canceled tomorrow. We don't know, Maria. I'll put it this way. If you have a European sailing, it looks a smidge better based on the fact that Carnival and Norwegian, when they canceled cruises today and on Friday, when they made the announcements, it was only affecting North America. So maybe that's good. You never know. Michael, where do you still want to cruise to? My goodness, there's a lot of places. I want to do a Panama Canal cruise. I definitely want to, Europe, there's so many, I got to do at least a couple cruises in Europe. I hate flying, but I'm at least going to get over that hump at least next year with the cruise out of Southampton in Norway. But I want to do the Med. I would love to go at some point to Australia. I don't think I'll ever get there, but who knows? I would love to go there. I think I would, I got to do, there's more ports in Alaska I haven't done yet. I haven't been to Ketchikan. I've not been to Sitka. I've not been to Anchorage. So there's a lot more places to go. Glacier Bay. I want to see all those places, right? Robert Jaworski, Sherry has got me onto gin. Oh, that's gross. I'm sorry. I love sherry, but gin is gross. Gin is like, every time I taste it, it's always like, I didn't need to use mouthwash at this point in the day, but here I am. Niam, I just read a little about lift and shift, and I have a question. If you're, say, booked on Anthem in 2020 and want to shift to Harmony 21, do you keep the same price as Anthem Cruise or no? I believe so, yes. Sandy, of course, assuming you meet all the criteria, yes. Sandy Taylor, the CDC seems to do nothing to help the cruise industry. Is there anything that we can do to help out? Yeah, that's a good question, Sandy. A lot of people have been, in the last week or so, there's been a lot of people talking, upset, and reasonably so, about the double standard that's clearly occurring right now, where with cruise lines being subject to the CDC's regulations, whereas other major tourist attractions, theme parks, casinos, hotels, water parks, they can open up by basically petitioning their local government with absolutely no oversight from the CDC. And a lot of people are wondering, Matt, what can we do? And I honestly, guys, I don't know. People have started petitions. There's definitely some petitions on change.org that are out there. Some people have called their local representatives, whether it's their congressman or woman or their senator, and, put pressure on them. I hate to say it. I don't think any of it matters. I don't think that government works that way. I think they respond to one thing and one thing only, which is money. And I just don't. I don't know. I don't think that anything will really move the needle, quite frankly. I think there is at least something to be said about the court of public opinion. I think if enough people voice it and the media picks up on it, you get yourself a fight right there. That does move the needle a little bit. But hey, my advice to you, I guess, is maybe sign that change.org petition. Write in the comments there. Whether it's on my blog posts or on your news articles, let people know this is not right. You don't agree with it. Jamie says time to bring out the magic 8-ball and ask the cancellations will stop. I'm gonna go for a question that I think has a little more practical choices here. Will I be able to have a drink with Sherry from Cruise Ships TV? Not just any Sherry. Cruise Ships TV Sherry this year in person. I'm not even gonna say cruise ship. I'll take anywhere at this point. So it shall be. I would show you, but it's as soon as I move it, you can't see it. There you go, guys. This year just got a whole lot better. Robert, coming to Australia via Hawaii, so only one long flight. Brother, one long flight. No. There's still long flights involved. It's not as long of a flight, but it's it's still a long flight, my friend. Somebody, who's that? Aquino, how is Odyssey of the Seas coming along? We actually have a brand new update to share at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Brand new photo update today, and there was a photo update last week, so you can check all that out at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Sherry says, I sure hope we get that drink. I was so looking forward to Sea Trade, right? The Magic 8-Ball said it's gonna happen, Sherry, so something's gonna happen here. I don't know what. So, Helen Burke, do you think we'll be cruising in October of this year? Let me put it this way, Helen. Honestly, no one knows the answer to your question. Do I think we'll be cruising? Do I think there will be human beings cruising this year in October? I think there's a good chance, but it may not be here in the U.S. Perhaps it'll be in China. I think if you were to ask me, Matt, what area of the world has the best chance of cruises resuming first? It kind of looks like China right now. I could be wrong on that one. Who knows? Holy moly! Papa Mozo with a super giant epic super chat with love from the SAST family. Wowie wow wow. Very nice. Papa Mozo, my goodness. I didn't even know super chats came in that color. Wow. Thank you, sir. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Wowie wow wow. Tyler Diedrich in the house. Hope you're having a great Monday, Tyler. We're hanging out talking Royal Caribbean. It's the next best thing to being on a cruise ship. AHN, let's be honest. Cruise lines register ships to other countries, therefore not providing taxes to the U.S., and that's why they have airlines running and not ships. Well, the airlines aren't subject to the CDC's rules. I think that, I think that there is at least some point to that, because obviously if cruise ships were flagged in the U.S., they would be subject to different rules that would apply to them. There's maybe some truth to that there. I think there's a general bias that exists, and here's the thing, guys. If you want to say cruising isn't safe and all this other stuff, and say COVID-19 is not there, fine. I'll be the first person to say, you know what, that sounds reasonable to me. The problem is that I think that there's a double standard going on, and it's hard to the argument from the CDC never states, because they don't say because this is a foreign flagged vessel, it's unsafe. Any kind of that wording. It's really purely about They just don't think cruise ships are. They think cruise ships are more conducive to this kind of a thing. Where again, theme parks, Las Vegas. I mean, think about, these are places where these have been able to reopen with, by the way, no oversight. It's not equal playing field. They don't answer the CDC. They're part of the U.S. I don't see why that wouldn't be the case. It just reeks to me of a double standard. And look, I could be wrong. People have argued this point against. I just don't think that I think any argument you can make about a cruise ship being unsafe, you can make the same argument against land-based locations, theme parks, whatever these places are. And the reason is because on a cruise ship, it's just easier to track. If you get sick on a cruise ship, you know it because you're there for a couple days, right? If we all went to Walmart and spent 7 days at Walmart continuously, there'd be a lot. People would be like, Walmart is it's a walking petri dish, you know? But because you don't, but you still get sick in Walmart. It's not like it doesn't take 8 days to incubate. Like, you don't have to be exposed to it for 8 days to get sick. You get sick like this. It's just a matter of, where you get it from. So that's why you get that. In my opinion, the argument to be made against cruise ships being unsafe as it relates to COVID-19 is the same argument you can make for theme parks, hotels, casinos. In my opinion. So, Sam, do you think we'll have to wear masks when cruises reopen? So far, Sam, no cruise line has made that a requirement. I think, was it Norwegian? Norwegian, I don't think actually mentioned it at all. I think MSC said it's like a good idea, but not required. I'll be surprised if they do. I mean, I wouldn't be against it, but I would say that I would be surprised if there is a rule that says you have to wear it. I would be very surprised by it because I think we've not seen any other cruise line implement a rule like that. Not a lot of cruise lines have put out their whole policies yet, to be fair, but we'll have to wait and see. Bayron, is a cabin under a flow rider considered loud? I cannot recall specifically that being an issue. Like, I've heard from a bunch of people like, our room was here. Generally speaking, noise bleed from venues, public venues, areas, is pretty minimal. It does occur. Some places definitely you would hear it more, but I think sound design has been a big part of it. And especially with the new ships, I wouldn't even think twice about it, Now, that being said, to be fair, when I book a cruise, I always look for, ideally, a room that has staterooms above me and below me. Ideally. Would I go on a cruise that was if that was the last room and it meant going on a cruise or not, being under the flow rider? Yeah, I would go on it, So. Nevada says Las Vegas is following CDC guidelines and the Nevada Gaming Commission guidelines. Also, the governor has set standards. They're following the guidelines. They're not required to get approval like the cruise lines do. And number two, I would argue that the cruise line health regimens, the policies they put in place are more stringent than any Las Vegas casino hotel. And let me tell you something. If you've seen videos, go on Twitter and look up videos from the last couple weeks since Las Vegas is open. Nobody's wearing a mask over there. So these guidelines don't really mean a whole lot if they're not enforced. I'm just saying, if it's that unsafe for cruise ships, it should not be safe for, let me turn the light on here, for these places. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not safe. I'm not saying it is safe. I'm saying that you can't tell me that one is safe and one is not safe, and it's because one's on water and one's on land. I just don't buy it. It doesn't make any logical sense. Church planting catalyst. Best advice on Royal Up program. My best advice, I'll be honest with you, don't do it. I don't think it's worth it. I think if you want to do an upgrade, my friend, that's fantastic. Call your travel agent. Say, how much is it to upgrade? That is the better one to do it. The reason being, I think Royal Up is a little confusing. I think it's a little misleading because you get the thing about, wow, all these rooms are available for upgrades? No, most likely not, actually. It's just, potentially, it could be cool, but I think it's very misleading. And so, again, my advice is if you want to do an upgrade, just do it the old-fashioned way. Call up and request it. So yeah. Hunt Lewis is here. I don't think I can wait till my January cruise. I may just have to book Bahamas Paradise. Hunt, is your tetanus shot up to date? I'm just asking, randomly. No. Actually, I talked to somebody today who's got Bahamas Paradise booked in July. I don't even know, Hunt, if Billy from cruisehabit.com would be willing to do that. Maybe he would, but that's, look, look, I don't want to. I'm not here to poo-poo on other cruise lines. I don't want to be that guy like, oh, my cruise line's better than yours, blah blah blah. Even if it's true. I think they're all different. They all offer different things there. But I do think that Bahamas Paradise is very much a different cruise line than other things. I mean, they use older ships. That's an undeniable fact. Beyond that, who knows? Bayron, first time cruiser, does Symphony do a sail away party? Yes, they do. Absolutely. David Sachs, refunds for canceled cruise planner purchase from May 30th through June 5th still have not been posted to their credit cards. Some cancellations were on the phone, some were online. Interesting. David, listen, I'm not surprised. I don't think anyone here is surprised to hear that, whether that doesn't make it right or wrong, by the way. Unfortunately, a lot of it is refunds are taking a while. In my experience, anecdotally, I've seen the cruise planner refunds come back faster because that system was always in place for handling mass price changes. But it's just, yeah, it can change right there. You're not stuck in a casino for weeks if someone gets sick in a casino. Yeah, but you're still getting sick, Nevada. That's the point. Okay, so you get sick and you go home, and in the meantime, you go to your Publix, or you don't have Publix, you go to your supermarket, you infect 3 other people along the way, you get, you know what I mean? Like, just because you're being stuck on a cruise ship doesn't mean that it makes it any better or worse. And again, look at the Diamond Princess, which by the way is like, Diamond Princess was that one of the, if not the first ship to get that outbreak over in Japan. And do you know what percentage of passengers got sick on there? It wasn't 100%. It wasn't 50%. I don't remember what it was. Less than 50%. I don't remember the exact number. But it's not to say that you get on a cruise ship, everyone's got coronavirus. No. But again, my point is not that, I'm diverging from my point here. What I'm saying is the risk factors of spreading coronavirus on a cruise ship are exactly the same, or so similar, nothing's ever the same. I get that. Very similar, just as same level of risk, if you ask me, on land in a Las Vegas casino as it is on a cruise ship. That's all I'm saying. So, let's see here. Brogan, love Royal Caribbean, only 19 years old and already Emerald. Wow, nice. And if you're saying it's not safe to be on a cruise ship, that's fine. I'll be the first one to say, I agree. Let's make sure it is safe. And by the way, while we're determining that, shut down the casinos, shut down the theme parks, because Disney World and Universal Studios should not be open. You can't have a double standard like that. It's I know life's not fair, but it's not fair. J&N, Matt, I love cruising and I've had 2 canceled. But a ship is not built for spacing. How do you handle elevators, hallways, and bars? As far as spacing, there just isn't enough. Well, number one, that's a good point, J&N. I mean, on land, we've seen that already, right? Where we've seen bars and restaurants in early reopenings requiring a certain amount of spacing, right? Limiting space over there. Elevators limiting a certain amount of people. There's also stairs. You don't have to take the elevator, obviously, unless you have a handicap of some kind. That's a different story. But again, you can reduce that. You can force social distancing in a lot of these places to help mitigate those issues there. That's all. John, Matt, it's no different than going to a theme park. You're right. It's a double standard. That's all I'm saying. Guys, I'm not sitting here and telling you cruising is 100% safe. Nothing is 100% safe. And if you're saying, cruising is not safe because of coronavirus, that's totally fine. I'm not going to argue that point with you guys. But I am going to point out there's all these other places that are opening up with no oversight that are serving tens of thousands of people every day, and that's okay. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Axel, how do you back to work with elevators? Try retyping it. I don't know what you mean there. Bayron, do you get double points for booking a suite? Yes, you do. If you book a suite and you're staying there by yourself, solo, you get triple points. How cool is that? Karina, welcome. Let's see here. Did I miss any other questions? These are great questions, by the way. And I appreciate the conversations. Fair points you're all making here. So, let's say Renee, wife and I going to Med Cruise May 2021. Nice. That is fantastic. Mark, we were going to be doing our first cruise on Independence of the Seas this July. That got canceled. Our next cruise is next July on Navigator. Is it just as good as Independence? Worse, better? I think in the grand scheme, in my opinion, of rail applications, it's better. They got some really nice features on there. Fantastic water slides, a giant bamboo room, even bigger playmakers. I think that's the gold standard right now, right there. So. Nevada, I disagree. I understand the theme park is outside. Cruise ships are outside. You can sit out the whole time on your pool deck, on the pool deck or in your balcony. I mean, there are outside aspects of it. There's also inside aspects. I mean, in a casino, you barely ever go inside. You never go outside, rather, right? You're in the... but clearly, we disagree here. That's okay. I think we both made our points here. I'm not saying cruise ships are 100% safe. I'm saying they are no less safe than a Las Vegas casino. That's all. And that's a double standard. Sarah, would you be fine cruising above a casino considering there being possible smoke and noise issues? Yes. The smoke wouldn't be an issue at all. I mean, you've got, a giant deck between. There's not going to be seepage there. Would I worry about noise? Maybe, but I'm trying to think on most ships, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure there's exceptions to that, but I would. Yeah, I would. John, your live stream right now is showing on my Google News feed. Hello. Awesome. We're going to get big time, right? Love it. Mike B, why do you think the CDC doesn't list the protocols they want to put in place? Makes it difficult to even guess how close to the goal line the industry is. That's a good point. I think part of it, honestly, in their defense, I mean, these things change a lot, The regulations, the best practices, they've changed a lot over the last couple months. So I definitely believe that the part of it is that things change a lot, and so the recommendations change. And some of it's not even, they don't even know, they being, scientists. It could be this, it could be that. I mean, remember there was the whole thing about, in the beginning, the spread of coronavirus on substances. Like, if you were in the supermarket, someone handled a banana, and then you handled the banana, could you get sick from that? Originally, that was a big deal, and then they said, no, that's very rare for that to occur. So, they kind of eased off that. So, but a lot of this is changing right there. So, appreciate it. So I think part of it, to go back to your question, why, they haven't put it in place, I think also a lot of this may be happening behind the scenes. I think there is a little bit of that aspect to it, that a lot of the changes, a lot of the discussions, what's practical, what's not, what's going to happen, is just happening behind the scenes right there. Bird Guy, are crews still trying to make it home safely? Yes, there are still some that are still trying to make it home safely. The problem is, a lot of these countries, primarily the U.S., the U.K., the Philippines, a variety of others, have implemented such crazy restrictions to prevent these people from getting home. This isn't a point of, cruise ships being like, the cruise lines don't want to let these people go home. Far from it. Trust me, they'd love to. The problem is there's a lot of regulations and red tape involved. But they are making progress on that. And every time I get any kind of new update from Royal Caribbean, I do post it on there, but there is definitely progress being made. Absolutely the case. So, and I hope that all of them are able to get home as soon as possible. I'm sure they all really, 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 really want to get home, to say the least. So, Brogan, wonder if we'll get Royal's new safety protocols tomorrow as well. I would have hoped so, Brogan, but I would love to see that happen. I don't know. I don't think it's really going to happen. You know what I mean? So. Robert, do you think they will announce the next round of cancellations this week? Yes, it's going to happen tomorrow. Almost certainly tomorrow, Robert. The Rumor Mill, and I know that, I think it was Katie who was in here earlier, said that she talked to someone at Royal Caribbean today on the phone, and they said tomorrow. I think they've already said this week, early this week. So, almost certainly tomorrow, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Keith, why doesn't the Ultimate Dining Package include paid restaurants at Coco Key? There's only one restaurant that costs extra at Coco Key. That is the Captain Jack's, and they serve fries and wings there. You don't need it. It's unnecessary. That's honestly the truth. It's just completely unnecessary. There's great food on the island. So, and to me, missing out on some wings and fries, totally fine. It's not like there's like chopped squirrel on the island or something like that. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Kim Oakland, I figured by the time the crews are repatriated, it'll be time to start cruising again. May be the case. You might be right about that. Bayron, do you get double cruise points for booking a suite? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And triple if you book a suite by yourself. Unique Wilson, my cruise on Symphony this season is canceled for August 29th, September 5th. What a refund when I get back. I also paid for excursions and beverage packages. The excursions and beverage packages will come back to you as a refund. Typically, you do get the choice, though, of just getting the value back as a credit, a future onboard credit to use. For the Unique Wilson, Royal Caribbean has not officially canceled the sailing yet, so we don't officially know the terms of conditions. I suspect it'll probably be like, choice of a 100% refund, 125% future cruise credit, or lift and shift. That'd be my guess. Positive vibes. What is your favorite show you've seen on a ship? Man, my favorite show I've seen on a ship, the Broadway shows on Royal Caribbean ships, fantastic. I love Columbus the musical. And the new Aqua 80 shows on Oasis of the Seas in the Aqua Theater, fantastic. Love that one. Lamar, will the Royal Caribbean survive financially through all these cancellations? I think so. I think they've got a lot of cash on hand. I think that this would have to go on for a really, really, really long time. Another year or so for this to really be a problem. So, excuse me. Clear my I do have some water left over. Much better. Get time for another question or two, and then we're off for the evening. But Steven did not know that you get 3 cruise points per night if you book a suite by yourself. Yes. So it's going to be a suite, obviously. By yourself in the room, you get triple points. Absolutely. Yes. Let's see here. I think did I catch up on all the comments? Positive, you sat behind me at the 80 show on Oasis in November? Really? You should have said hello. Excuse me, sir. You're in the way. And are you, Matt? Wouldn't that be... next time, definitely say hello. If someone sees me I always tell people, if you see me on a cruise ship and I'm not yelling at my kids, say hello. One time somebody did that. I was like, my kids were being bad. I was, being a parent and having a stern talk with them. And somebody was like, hey, are you Matt? I'm like, yes, I am. I love saying hello to people. Not when I'm in the middle of yelling at my kids. But otherwise, yes, absolutely. Lisa, how early will 7 Mile Beach become congested with 6 ships in port? Definitely by about, 10 a.m. or so, 11 a.m. I mean, I think usually the biggest rush is right around from 10:30, 11 o'clock until about 2 or 3 o'clock or so. That's going to be the biggest part right there. So, there you go. Guys, appreciate you joining us here. And, of course, if you're looking for more Royal Caribbean news, information, fun advice, check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. There is plenty more waiting for you over there. In fact, there's 4 new blog posts up there. We have new podcast episodes, message boards, plenty to keep you busy between now and our next live broadcast here on Monday. KB, will the announcement tomorrow regarding cancellations be for beyond September 15th? Don't know. I know Norwegian and Carnival both went to September 30th, so there's a good chance of that, but I honestly don't know, my friend. Really don't know. So, there you go. Last question, last answer from my good friend Robert Jaworski. Crikey, is September an unavoidable time to go cruise to Coco Cay? That was a terrible accent. No. I mean, it's hurricane season, but it's not like, this, just like typhoon season over in your neck of the woods. Just because it's the season doesn't mean there's always a storm. So no, I would definitely give it a go. Guys, thanks so much for joining us here. Really appreciate it. Have a great week, everybody. Do something fun, and we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.